let's find us some free money. Here's how to find and apply for business grants. What's up, icons? It's the Iconic Fashion Figure. Now, I don't know if it's me or if it's really that hot today, but this is day 13 of Heatwave Hustle, your ultimate summer success bootcamp. And I know this is a video topic that you guys have been waiting on because I've been mentioning it since the beginning of my bootcamp, and that is how to find and apply for grants for your business. I don't typically talk about how to find and apply for grants. Grants provide funding for your business without the need of repayment, kind of like free money. Typically, I don't cover it just because it can be hard to achieve, but it is possible. I myself have received a couple grants for my business. So I'm about to teach you how to find them and how to apply for them. Plus, I have a free template for you to use for your grant applications. Let's start out with how to find the grants. And the first location that you can look at is government resources. So websites like grants.gov. Now, I will say the grants that you find on grants.gov are typically for businesses that have already started, but every once in a while you can find grants on there for startups as well. But I do want to provide that option since some of you have already started and some of you have already had your businesses registered for quite a while, you just didn't actually launch yet. So you may qualify for the grants on there. And on grants.gov, you can search for grants by eligibility, categories, and more to be sure you're finding the grants that fit your business type. Just be sure to read the requirements of each grant before you apply because they will vary by grant. The second way to find grants is with local and regional grants. So check your state, check your city, check your county, and don't forget to check local community centers, libraries, and local business associations. That's actually how I found my very first grant. It was a local grant, and they're much easier to obtain than they are the ones that are available nationwide. Another way to find grants, option number 3, is private grants. Some of the ways that you can find private grants are with corporations, so companies like FedEx and UPS, Visa, Amazon, all those type of corporations. They typically do an annual grant for small businesses to be able to apply to. Same with nonprofits. Those are usually considered private grants, but check nonprofits. They usually have grants for small businesses. And one of the ways you can keep up with what grants are available is using a website like grantwatch.com, so you'll know what grants are coming up and what their deadlines are, and you can be sure you apply right away. The fourth way of finding grants is by researching for minority-focused grants. There are a lot of grants out there for minorities, like Black-owned grants or Hispanic-owned grants or Asian-owned grants. There are also a lot of grant options out there for women business owners, such as I Fund Women and the Amber Grant Foundation. There are also a lot of grants out there for veterans. So if you are a veteran, then there are a lot of grant options out there for you as well that others will not qualify for. And the fifth and final place for where you can find grants is Hello Alice. Hello Alice is a website that has a section on their website not only for funding that you can apply for, such as lines of credit and loans, but then they also have an option for grants, and you can actually apply for the grants directly on their website. I believe Hello Alice is becoming very popular and more people are applying on there, so they are harder to get now, but that is an option as well. Now you know where to go find your grants from. Please don't start applying yet because we have more to cover in this video before you go apply. Now I want to cover how to craft a winning grant application. When crafting a winning grant application, there are key elements that you'll need to focus on in your application. And element number 1 is going to be the executive summary. In the executive summary, you want to outline your business, talk about its mission and values, and what it is that you plan to achieve with the grant funding. Number 2, the project description. Detail the project or initiative that you need funding for, and be specific with the goals, the timeline, and the expected outcome. So for those of you that are just starting your businesses and you're looking to launch a business, you'll want to talk about starting your business and your goals for starting your business and the outcome you expect once you start this business up. For those of you that are already started and there's something specific you're looking to expand in, you'll talk about that. Number 3, budget. So now you're providing a detailed budget showing how you will use the grant money. Include all of your expenses. You want them to understand what it is you're actually using this money for, so they feel comfortable giving it to you and they don't feel like they're just throwing money to anyone that's probably going to use it personally versus on their business, or someone that has a business but truly doesn't have a need for the money. Number 4, qualifications. Highlight your qualifications and explain why you are the right fit for this grant. Number 5 is supporting documentation. Include your business plan if you have it created already. Include a letter of recommendation if that helps you get the grant, and then also financial statements. If you have any financial statements to show what it is that you're trying to fund, you can provide that as well. Let's say invoices or a quote. You've gotten a quote for a project you're trying to do, but now you need the funding for it. Include any supporting documentation that can help boost your grant application. So those are 5 key elements that you'll want to include in your grant application. Now, of course, I have a grant template for you guys, which I have linked down below in the description box, so you can download my template. I'll also be showing it to you in a moment. I just want to go through some additional tips to help perfect your grant application. I've shown you where you can find your grants from. I've shown you how to craft a winning grant application. Now I just want to go through some of the tips when you're creating your grant application. And tip number 1 is pay attention to grammar. That is going to be very important. There are AI softwares out there like Grammarly that will help you to correct your grammar to make sure it's accurate before you submit that. Tip number 2, make sure you follow all of the grant's guidelines and submit all the required information. Every grant is going to be different on the information they're requesting. Some of them is literally you just writing a story on why you deserve the grant. Some of them are going to ask for far more information. Some may even require a business plan, which you can use my free business plan template to help you out. But pay attention to their requirements and all the guidelines. Also make sure you qualify too, because those guidelines will specify what type of business is able to apply. If you don't qualify, don't bother applying because you're not going to get that. But if you meet the guidelines, then definitely apply. Tip number 3, make sure you submit on time. All of these grants have a deadline of when you need to submit your application by. Don't miss those deadlines. You don't want to be trying to submit later. Most of them, when they have their cutoff, you can't even submit anything, but some of them, if it's like by email or anything, you might try to email later. They're not going to pay it no attention because you missed the deadline. So be sure you submit on time. Set a reminder for yourself if you have to. Tip number 4, make it personable. Use your own personal touch and voice. So I know I just provided you with a template. Other people are looking at that template too. So you don't want to copy my template verbatim. You want to add your own touch to it and your own voice to it. Tell them truly about your brand. It doesn't want to seem like a copy paste thing, because there's a chance that you won't be picked because it just sounds like everyone else's. So why are they giving their money to you? And tip number 5, just remember this is your story, so tell it. That will help make it personable too. If you're telling your story and why you're deserving of this grant, what was your inspiration behind your business, tell your story and really make that emotional connection with the people that are going to be reading these grant applications. And really quickly, I'll show you the grant template that I've created. You can pause to read the full thing, but there's also of course a link down below where you can download the grant application template. Now from here, now that you found your grants and you submitted your grants, you'll just wait to see if you're selected. There's usually a schedule of when they should be selecting the grant winners, or sometimes there's like a round 1, round 2 sort of grant application process. So follow that deadline. If you don't hear back, of course you can follow up with them, but try not to do it before the deadline because you don't want to drive them crazy while they're trying to review all these applications. Something I definitely want to make clear to you, while grants are not required to be paid back, you may receive a tax document at the end of the year of whenever you receive the grant money that you'll need to file on your taxes. Grant earnings can be considered income, so when you go to file your taxes, you'll have to file that form and there's a possibility of you having to pay taxes on your grant earnings. So I do want you to keep that in mind because you may have to set money aside to pay the taxes owed on that grant. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. This is a topic I typically don't cover, which is the financial side of business and helping you you find the funding. If you are confused or if there's any information you need on finding and applying for grants, definitely leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer to my best ability. I'll help you out in any way that I can. This is day 13 of Heatwave Hustle, your ultimate summer success bootcamp. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell so that way you don't miss any moment of this summer success bootcamp. And be sure to share with your family and friends if you feel like they can benefit from this bootcamp. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching.